Chargers at Dolphins. The Chargers, you talk about teams losing people. I mean, they're gutted. The Dolphins are beat up at this point. If you look at L.A., where they've been over these last couple of weeks, where we were talking about them the first few weeks of the season, of this might be the team to beat in the AFC West, if not the AFC. What do you see, and how do they get things going back the right direction?
A lot of it is, you just said beat up. A lot of it is the injuries on the offensive line. I mean, the first 3 weeks, Justin Herbert was just balling, being able to get the ball out, putting it wherever he wanted. We saw him creating plays with his legs, doing so much for this offense. And already we knew Slater was gone for the season. Then you lose Joe Alt in the Giants game early on. And now you're playing with essentially your third and fourth offensive tackle. Then Mekhi Becton is banged up on the inside. Bozeman at the center has really struggled as well. So Justin Herbert went in the first 3 weeks where I think he was averaging like 8 yards per attempt, to now the last 2 weeks it's been 5 yards per attempt. So he doesn't have the time that he had in those first 3 weeks to be able to get the ball down the field and get it in his playmakers' hands. So now he's under pressure constantly, and the amount of hits that he has taken in the last few weeks is not sustainable for this offense. So they have to try to figure out a way amidst all of the injuries, and now losing the running back in Omarion Hampton, who kind of has taken off in the last few weeks. How do you still continue to generate explosive plays when you don't have a ton of time? Do you take people out of the routes and leave more guys in the block to give Herbert more time? How are you going to be able to run the ball now with Haskins and Vidal in the backfield when you don't have the high draft pick and Najee Harris is also on IR? That's going to be the struggle for this offense, to figure out Greg Roman, their coordinator, how he can generate and still be able to do some things so they can put points on the board.
The Dolphins lost, I believe, 3/5 of their offensive line by week 1. That's created a challenge for a team that already, I've always said, Mike McDaniel has one of the hardest jobs in football, because every week he's got to come up with a game plan for the quarterback to not get hit, because bad things happen when Tua Tagovailoa gets hit. But when you look at the numbers on Tua, he's not taken a great deal of sacks, but he's one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the NFL the first 3 years with McDaniel. Now suddenly he's down near the bottom. What do you see, and when you're talking to, what do you hear about what's going on with Tua right now?
Well, it's both sides of the line for them. Defensively, they can't stop the run because they're struggling up front in the way they're fitting a lot of their run plays. And then offensively, from the first game of the season, they were excited. They had James Daniel, who brought over from Pittsburgh. Austin Jackson was going to be the blind side of their offensive line, Tua on the right side. Both of those guys end up injured in week 1. So now you're playing with 2 backups. Now Cole Strange is playing right guard for them, someone they picked up off of the Browns practice squad. So they've gone through so many injuries. And then the right guard, Jonas Avenue, he's a rookie. He's still learning on the job. So for Tua, a lot of it is you got to get the ball out so fast and make a play. And that brings down the efficiency. And yes, he's not getting hit as much, but the offense isn't able to operate the way that we saw it operate in 2022. And now you couple all of that with the fact that Tyreek Hill isn't going to be out there for the remainder of the season for them. Jalen Waddle had one hell of a game. So did Darren Waller in the first half, being able to do all of his damage. But now for them is, how do you adjust as the game goes on, as the season goes on? How do you get the run game going to be able to take some of that pressure off of Tua and get Achane in space to do some of the things? But for them, very similar to the Chargers on the other side of the ball, this offensive line is so banged up that you're trying to find out ways, McDaniel is, to still get the offense going and getting the ball out of Tua's hands and their playmakers. But you have to do it so fast and do it so efficiently.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app, 12 to 3 Eastern.